Hi everyone, it's been a while. So this is my new place, as you can see, looking all nice and good. I'm deeply sorry for the break. It took a long break, and after sorting out some things, and this is also part of the things I was sorting out. Trying to get a nice environment to do my YouTube videos. So now I'm back and back for good. So you get to see more of my YouTube videos, astrology videos more often this time around. You get to see them often. And I want to appreciate everyone who make this become a success, who make this a success. I want to appreciate everyone, who contributed to this. And I'm really grateful. I appreciate you all. God bless you. So back to the matters of today, of the day. So today I would like to talk about something different. Um, uh, it's something most of you it's something most of you are already familiar with, or but it's one of the planets. It's called a minor planet though, but it's a planet that its effect is really much of a greater, like its greater kind of a strong impact in the lives of people. And it's also a planet in which it takes one through the transformations of change, healings, and all that. So, yeah, because this planet is more focused about individuals, like certain people, gaining strength from their own hurt experiences, like hurtful experiences, or gaining, using their pains or traumas, the pains or traumas they've been through, in finding, in discovering themselves, exactly, in discovering themselves and also helping others, healing and helping others. So the planets I'm talking about, the minor planets are because it's regarded as a minor planet, like a comet. So the planet I'm talking about is Chiron. So today I'll be talking about Chiron in four styles in astrology. Like, what is Chiron in four styles all about? What's the interpretations all about? Now, the thing is this: Chiron placement in natal chart is always one of the top placement in astrology because it's popularly known as the wounded healer. That's exactly the thing. So the thing about Chiron placement is that it's the where whichever houses is placed in the natal chart, it creates this awful experiences or traumas or wounds. Like a person, we have to go through certain wounds or traumas, in getting through that particular thing, like that particular matters related to that house. Exactly. And in finding healing, can they be able to help others? Because it's called the wounded healer. The wounded healer is just like someone who is heartbroken. It could just identify to someone who is heartbroken, and at the other point, they have to find a way to raise up themselves, heal themselves, and in this process, they're able to, heal others at the same time. So a lot of things I'm going to, say a whole lot of things, like explain this in details. I'm going to explain this in details on how you will understand how Chiron in four styles, how it affects you as a person, like people who are Chiron in four styles, how it affects you. So here's the thing. It's orbits, like the Chiron orbits around Saturn and Uranus. Exactly. It orbits between Saturn and Uranus and in the outer rings of our solar system. And the is that, the Chiron as a minor planet, it's influenced a kind of change in individuals. Now, this change is something transformational, very, very transformational, and it's more or less like at a point, it's more like a breaking point between the restriction and freedom, because Saturn represents restrictions, while Uranus represent freedom. Uranus is the revolution, exactly. So sometimes these individuals are being stopped. Yeah, Chiron can make individuals get stuck in um trying to make a way, or trying to skate through their traumas and the process of healing, because in the process of getting through their traumas, then they tend to face a lot of things, and that could really restrict their path of healing. Exactly, restrict their path of healing. So now, what exactly Chiron in first house all about? Now, Chiron in first house is about self. It's about we. Hindu, it was like self, our self-image, identity, how we appear to the world, how we appear to others. So that's exactly what the first house is all about. Now, what's Chiron in first house? Like when Chiron comes to the first house, what does it bring? What is it all about? Now, Chiron in first house, is could point to a part of us or our self-image that has a fault or weakness that we may have to deal with throughout the rest of our life. Now, everyone has at the time we were born, we all have something like a fault or weaknesses, or maybe growing up. While growing up, we all have something we have to deal with, some kind of challenges we have to go through. I mean, we all go through. Yeah, some people have to live with certain traumas throughout their life, and the thing is that some people are able to fight these traumas or wounds at a point in achieving their own goals and becoming what they want to be. White side people allow their wounds to overwhelm them, and it restrict their growth, it restrict their personal growth. Now, what Chiron in Fosters is all about is about how you can, able to, identify your wounds, identify your traumas, and then able to, gain strength, draw that strength, and inspiration in fighting through, like in scaling through it, in fighting through those things, finding healing, and at the same time, achieving, becoming what you want to be. The thing is that we shouldn't allow the wounds or the traumas of the past, the things we experienced, the wounds or traumas we experienced, to limit us from becoming who we want to be. Because this is the lesson of Chiron in first house. Because a lot of people who have Chiron in first house allows these wounds or traumas, past wounds or traumas, to overwhelm them and restrict them from not becoming what they want to be. So this, in this part, in this video, we are going to address how that can be dealt with. So that's exactly the thing. So now going forward, so this fault or weakness could be a physical, mental, or emotional challenge, which could turn to become a wound or trauma, and then affecting our individual growth. Just like I said before, trauma, I mean, the Chiron of first class can be anything. It can present different kind of wounds, different kind of traumas for a person. It could be a mental, physical, or emotional trauma, wounds, or something like that. It could be any one of it. Now, how we need to find a way, they need to find a way to, not allow this, could be a physical challenge, could be a mental challenge, or it could be emotional challenge. They shouldn't allow these to hinder their individual growth, their personal growth in life. Because most times, people with Chiron the first time have to deal with this over and over again. Sometimes it can be a repetitive pattern, something repeating is over and over again. So these people need to find a way to deal with these traumas and not allow it to restrict their own growth. So yeah, so the thing is this: most of us, or some of us, had it tough growing up. Yeah, most of us or some of us had it tough growing up, and somehow we found ourselves in an environment or society where there is need to or less opportunity to excel. The thing about Chiron the first house is that these people who have those placements tend to have need to opportunities or need to resources to work with. When growing up, they tend to have need to or less resources to work with, or opportunity to work, to make use of, while growing up, and that's exactly where they're able to draw strength from, not allowing you whatever, challenges coming their way, not allowing that, or whatever traumas they be faced with, not to allow that to restrict their growth, but more like embracing it, I accept that I have this, I accept this, and I'm willing to go through a transformation of healing, and at the same time draw strength and inspire myself to become what I want to be, and also help others heal at the same time. So that's exactly the thing. Now, another thing is this: people with Chiron in first house, often had it tough the growing up, just like I said before. There is this constant reassurance. That's exactly the thing. And they have this constant reassurance of wanting to prove themselves over and over again. Yeah, sometimes it could just be as a result of, not really low self-esteem, but it could be as a result of not being able to fit into the society. Because remember, the first starts this with the self-image of a person. It deals with our identity. Now, having Karen in the first star sometimes can make it difficult for a person to fit into the society. So these people have to, do some sort of self-validations or constantly have to, you know, do much, to prove themselves or prove their self-worth to others, to other people. And that's exactly the situation most of the people who have Chiron in first stars find themselves. Like there's this constant reassurance of wanting to be heard and seen. Yeah, like it seems as if they're not heard enough or they're not seen enough. So they are always trying to do something. So, you know, something to to be out there in the world. They always wanted to do something to be out there, to be seen, heard, among around the world. So yeah, and they are always working on their own self worth. Exactly. Self growth. Yeah, people with Chiron in the first house are always working on their self growth. Like it's very, very. It's something in which a lot of them, have these issues growing up because their individual, their personal growth seems sometimes more of a thing that they couldn't figure out. So sometimes they are always putting in work and effort, to do better, to do great, in anything they do, like always doing everything they can to do great. They don't want what has happened in the past, whatever traumas has happened in the past, or whatever issues, challenges they faced in the past. They don't want that to restrict them from becoming who they are. So they would rather prefer to, just move and like embrace this words like, okay, yeah, I have this. This is a part of my life, and I'm willing to move from this, heal from this, and embrace something new, like heal and all that. So that's exactly the thing. So it's always like a working process for Chiron and first house people. A working process, always working on themselves, to this transformation, this self transformation is exactly the thing for them. So so they're always working on their self growth through healings and self acceptance. Yeah, that's exactly so. Through healings and self acceptance is exactly the thing. Self acceptance in the sense that these people need to avoid these people need to avoid situations of wanting to prove themselves to others. They need to avoid situations of wanting to prove themselves to others. They need to accept themselves for who they are. Just accept things the way they are. You know, Self love is very important for them, and just trust in their own voice, trust in their inner voice, and just do what they can do. Just be free, live the best life they want to live. Like live their best life, and don't care about what other people say. People may say things to them, hurtful things to them, but they shouldn't be concerned about what other people say. They should be more concerned about their own self, like inner voice, and doing their own thing. So that's exactly what matters. So they derive strength and inspiration through previous wounds, traumas, or challenges they experience in their life. So this is exactly another thing, another aspect of Chiron and first house people. Um, I like those people because they're kind of people in which instead of them to be, laid back by the traumas, by the wounds, um, traumas or wounds they faced in the past, laid back or discouraged by that. They are the kind of people capable of drawing strength, courage, inspiration from it, able to heal from the traumas they've experienced, the old sufferings, traumas, wounds, and everything they've experienced, able to draw inspiration from it and make something out of it, like make something out of it. I mean, make something out of it. So that's exactly the thing, make the best out of it. So that's exactly one thing I love about those people. So I love it when Cameron are able to wake up and not be laid back because of whatever traumas or when they faced in the past, and able to embrace it and then heal and then make something out of it, get the inspiration to move on and make the best out of it. So, and at times, those people may do too much just to prove themselves. Yeah, they may do too much just to prove themselves. That's exactly the thing about kind of the first house people. Because somehow, sometimes they find it difficult to fit into the society. Yeah, because of their identity, image, self-image alike. Sometimes they can be too sensitive. Yeah, they can be too sensitive to how other people perceive them. So they tend to do too much, trying to prove themselves to others. And they may experience betrayers. Yeah, they may experience betrayals from those who are very close to them. That's the truth. People with kind of first as may experience a kind of betrayals from those who are close to them because they tend to be the kind of people who are really open to others, who can become open. And as they are open to others, they easily get hurt. They get hurt. So in this process, that's exactly why Karen the first I take them to the process of transformation, healings, and all that. So yeah, and so that's exactly the thing. So the key lessons of Chiron in first house is that these people shouldn't be discouraged by the challenges surrounding their personal life background and the past personal life traumas. Now, here's the thing about this. Here's the thing about Chiron and first house people. Um, they shouldn't allow their background or their personal life traumas, like the background, where they come from, the home they come from, the family they come from, the environment they come from. They shouldn't allow that to weigh them. I mean, to you know, to discourage them from becoming what they want to be. Want to be. They shouldn't allow that. They should see it as a form of inspiration to push forward in life. Heal and push forward in life. This is exactly the key lessons of Chiron in first house. They should see it as more as an inspiration, strength, to progress forward in life. So it's important it's important they draw strength, healings, and inspiration from it, so that it won't restrict their personal growth. Exactly. So it's important they draw strength, from it, from whatever traumas they've been through. They need to draw strength, inspiration from it, so it restricts what their personal growth. So it won't restrict their personal growth, personal success, and all that. So that's exactly for that. They should also learn the lessons of self-acceptance rather than constantly trying to prove their potentials or self-worth to others. Exactly. Self-acceptance is key. Is key, very, very key for Chiron the first house people. They need to, they need to learn the lessons of self-acceptance, not constantly trying to prove themselves to people. Just be themselves, live their best life and all that. And irrespective of what people say to them, they should just live their best life. This is exactly what matters, because when they take to what people say, it's only going to restrict their, when they listen to what people say, it's only going to restrict their personal growth. Yeah, it's going to restrict their personal growth. So through embracing self-acceptance, drawing strength and inspiration from their past wounds or traumas, then they can be able to be a better position to heal, liberate, and create an impact in others people's life. Yeah, that's the reality of. That's exactly the truth. That's the truth. Chiron info styles people, they need to, able to find themselves in that position, because they need to save themselves before they can save others. They need to first save themselves before they can save others. So in saving themselves, in getting through the whole thing, like healing, gaining strength, inspirations, and all that, inspiring themselves and all that, will they be able to inspire others, heal other people. They can become the master of their own self, like, taking control of situations. They can. Yes, they can. So they that's exactly the or what the kind of the first house people. This is exactly the things they need to know. They need to pay attention to these. They are very great people, sweet people, but at the same time, sometimes life issues, life challenges. Sometimes, it can really draw them back. In focusing on the important goal, the purpose, the true purpose that they need to achieve in this life. So it's important they shouldn't allow that to discourage them. Always keep moving and pushing themselves to achieve what they are good best. I mean, what they are good in. I mean, to achieve the best from life, like make the best from life. So that's exactly the thing. And to end this video, I'd like to give an example of a famous person, an example of a famous person who has Chiron in first house. So a famous person who has Chiron in the first house is Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln. So Abraham Lincoln is one of the best and top presidents in the United States. When we're talking about present and I mean past and present presidents of the United States, Abraham Lincoln is one person that we can say yes, it comes top, like he's at the top, exactly based on his work, you know, the things he did back then and all that. Because this man was born in poverty and hardship. Yeah, based on the story I got, he was born in poverty and hardship, and he was self-educated too. Like he educated himself, he pushed himself and all that. In the midst of, you know, you can imagine someone who was born in poverty and hardship, and in spite of this environment, he found himself, you know, with less opportunity, he was able to make the best out of it, like, you know, become something great out of this. Like, it doesn't allow this poverty and hardship, you know, to have a say on how it's going, what is going to become, or what's going to become of him. It doesn't allow that. He was able to, you know, excel to get through those things, because these things can be more or less like a trauma. These have like troubles and you know, things like that. You can imagine what people would say, you know, him growing up, you know, and all that. You can imagine he wasn't born with a silver spoon. I mean, like, so imagine what people would say regarding how his background was like. So he was able to, I mean, excel to become one of the best presidents in the United States. And he did a lot of great things. I mean, like, he did so many great things because it changed the political views of the United States. Yeah, it changed the political views of the United States, and it was regarded as one of the best, and it was also regarded as a champion of human liberty. Like, it was able to give up to the common man. Yeah, it was able to bring some kind of like revolution, create some kind of revolution theme like that in the United States. And also it was able to redefine the political philosophy, you know, of republicanism in the United States. So Abraham Lincoln was someone that, you know, he really fit into the Chiron and first house analysis, the Chiron and first house analysis. So he fit into it based on his life, based on how he was able to, you know, challenge, you know, not allowing the traumas or, you know, life sufferings or life hardships, you know, to get to him. He was able to, you know, to survive at the end, like able to draw strength, you know, inspirations, you know, from the things that happens to him. Yeah, from the things he went through, able to draw strength and inspiration from the things he went through, and, you know, create a big change, impact in other people's life, not in just in his own life, but in other people's life. So that's it for Chiron in first house. That's it for Chiron in first house. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want me to talk more videos on this Chiron placement, let me know what you'd like me to talk about next, like Chiron placements in second house, third house, fourth house, fifth house. Let me know which house placements of Chiron you'd like me to talk about next. That is for the Chiron in first house. I mean, that is for the Chiron in first house. I really appreciate you for watching to this point. Another time we come again with another interesting video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now. Thanks.